How have you seen God's faithfulness to provide for your family's needs through the years?
In less than 2 weeks, Gina and I will celebrate our 35th wedding anniversary. And through those years, the past years, we've seen so many things that God has done in our life. He's so faithful to provide for our family's needs. As many of you know, through the early years when you're first married and all, finances can be tight, and it puts you in a place where you're relying on God, and you tend to lean on Him for those things. We've never felt that we were strapped so tight that we weren't able to tithe or give to the church. That's been a stewardship principle of ours from the beginning. One thing that Gina and I talk about often is how the Lord has provided good, steady employment for me, and along with that has come a good health care plan from those companies I've worked for, and that's been a blessing. That's really God's provision. We look at it that way. And as we plan for children, God had a sense of humor. We had one, and then time rocked along about 3 years, and we've planned to have another one. So God had a different plan for us. He gave us 2 at one time. So that was another thing. Like, how are we going to do this? And we relied on God once again to provide our needs, and it worked out. He's been so faithful to us through the years. As college came around, there was really no big college savings plan. We relied mainly on a few scholarships, and again, relied on God's provisions. And two of my children finished college with no college debt, and then the third one finished, and she had a plus balance in her checking account when she finished. So we looked around and said, well, that's God's providing. No other way it could have happened like that.
Suppose you were talking with a young couple who are on the fence about whether giving should become part of their family's journey of faith. What would you say to them?
I would encourage any young couple to read and research the Word on what it says about giving, about tithing, and really take that and study it and sit down with each other, pray about it, certainly, and come to a conclusion that, this is going to be our plan from here forward. Meet with the pastor, ask if there's any questions to be answered, take those and decide upon a plan. I have a scripture I would like to read to you and leave that with you that speaks toward giving, tithing, and our part as good stewards. In Matthew 6:19, we read a scripture. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moth and rust do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Thank you.